Hi everyone, Ryan with the Smart Live Streamer, bringing you a quick tip. Now more than ever, individuals are having to telecommute for work, and also we're remoting in guests from their home locations, locations that are kind of multi-purpose spaces, or we'll say less than ideal. They're probably serving as their workout room or as a spare bedroom, or sometimes just up on a landing. And so we want to give you some tips and strategies that you can go through with your remote callers using vMix Call, Skype, Zoom, WebEx, BlueJean, whatever system you're using. These are going to be strategies that you can employ right now. And we'll be showing you our vMix screen, bringing in some different tools that we're using. And so today I have my fiance who is remote calling in from our home. And hello, Katie. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Hey, as you can see, we are a little bit different in the appearance of our things, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So you have just a normal laptop. You're using just a room in the house, and this is how your Zoom calls look. So let's bring you full screen, and that's how you typically look for your morning Zoom calls, you average remote guest.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to fix that because what we want is we want to be framed up nice and neat into our things. And so for everyone tuning in right now, let's bring up our desktop and let's let you see kind of how we're changing these things. So what I want to do is I've created a rule of thirds. And if you're not familiar with the rule of thirds, it's basically where you should be placing your eyes. And so as you're seeing right now on the screen, I've put this last overlay, and this is just an input, and I'm landing right where I should be landing. I've got a good amount of headroom. I'm centered into the frame. Now, traditionally, I would want to be to either side of this if this was kind of a widescreen shot, landing on 2 points of the thirds. But because we are going to be pulling in this caller screen, it just takes kind of that center portion. So I want to be centered up into there. And that's what we want to guide you through for the remote guest. So first things first, Katie, let's go ahead and if you could just tilt your laptop screen down and let's get you an image of where we want you to kind of fall. So you can see the grids up on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we can see that the positioning is definitely a little bit better, but it's not a straight on shot. Is your webcam located under your eye level?
Yes.
Okay. So in what we want to talk about, and let's take a look here at the things that we're going to discuss. The thing that we just talked about a little bit was the camera position. We'll talk about lighting, the sound, and the framing. So we're kind of going over framing and camera position right now. Katie, as you're seeing this thing, do you have access to one of these raised laptop elevation devices?
I don't have one of those.
You don't? Okay. Well,
I do not.
Let's pop off your grid thing real quick, and I'm going to ask you, do you happen to have books in the house? Now, I already know the answer to this question. You have a lot of books in the house.
Plenty of those.
Plenty of those. Okay. Let's get some books out and let's get them underneath your laptop and let's raise that laptop up so your webcam is about eye level. So right now we're guiding Katie to get that laptop elevated up. Her webcam is starting to come a little bit more eye level. All right. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's activate that lower or the rule of thirds for you. So you can see the grid again. Now let's bring your webcam center and let's get that positioned a little bit nicer on your face, giving you a little bit of headroom. Yeah, that's really good, right? And so let's go back to this view. We're pretty close, both in comparison to, we're not identical as far as size-wise. So I can have you scoot back just a little bit. And then bring your laptop lid down just a little bit. And sometimes these are hard because you adjust a little and then you got to readjust it. We're pretty close. And so this is looking pretty good. Now, as we were talking about some of the things that we are going to go over today, the camera position, the lighting, the sound, and the framing, I'm noticing that the lighting is probably just a little bit off. Do you happen to have a desk lamp or anything by you, light that can project onto your face? It looks like there's a lot of light to the side and hitting that back wall. So we can either close, if those are windows or doors, we can close the blinds, or if you have a desk lamp, we can redirect that desk lamp. So do you have any of those things?
I do have the windows open, but I also have a desk lamp right here.
Okay, well, let's try the desk lamp because that's the easiest thing. So let's go ahead and kick on the desk lamp. So that's looking, it's definitely much better. You can definitely see. Now let's go ahead and just close the blinds, and that should knock down some of that light to the back of you. So if you want to get up real quick, and we'll close the blinds. While you're doing that, I'm going to bring over and we can go through a few of the things. Katie's using her webcam on her laptop, but you could use a GoPro if you had one available. You could use a capture device, kind of like you're seeing here. The chances of you getting a webcam per se that sits on top of a monitor or laptop are about slim to none right now as everyone's getting them. Now, Katie adjusted with a desk lamp, but this is showing a Litra light, and this has a softbox attached to it. And so you can use those type of lights to help light you up. And next, when we get into sound quality, we can adjust that. So let's bring Katie back full screen. Okay, it's looking a lot better in the room. And you can tell that she's definitely the focal point. So she's positioned well. And let's go ahead and take those grids off. All right, Katie, that's looking pretty good. We'll just center you up just a little bit more. Perfect. All right. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to check to see kind of her light level. So, Katie, move just your head side to side. Okay, and you can see that she's falling. Let's do this. On the preview side, the left-hand side of this desktop capture, what you're seeing is, move your head side to side, Katie. So you can see her head is falling in right about here. Now, if we were looking at levels, that's falling at about the 50 to 60% range. And so what I can do is I want to, in vMix, just adjust a few of her settings. And what I'm looking for is probably for her whites to come up to be just a little bit right around that 60% mark. And then I might add a little bit of black stretch in just to give it a little bit more contrast. Now, the other thing that you can do is you could auto white balance, and I could pick something in the room. And now that's going to work to auto white balance. Chances are your remote guest is going to be coming in on their webcam, and so they won't have any professional level of adjustment. And so you're going to want to tailor that out. Now, she looks just a little bit red. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull out just a little bit of that. All right, Katie, your coloring is looking pretty good. I can see you well. And there's some dimension to the space. Now, you could be just at a wall directly behind you where there's nothing interesting to look at. You're very close to a wall, and what that does is it just creates an unflattering image. So it looks like everything is looking really well. So let's work on your audio. So go ahead and just tell me about your morning so far.
I had a few calls for work. I talked to a few of my staff members, hung out with the dog here at home. She's asleep over my shoulder. But my morning's been pretty good.
Okay. Now, what I hear is I hear a lot of room echo. Do you have carpeted floors or any wall treatments or anything?
No, we have wood floors.
Okay. And I think that the guests online, you can hear that it's definitely a little bit of echoey, a little bit of reverb. So the first thing that you can do is do you happen to have one of these things laying around?
I do.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's grab them and let's get them plugged in. Now, you want to have your guests using a headset, and the reason why is your laptop speakers sometimes bleed through the laptop microphone array, and so that you can sometimes create just a little bit of an audio loop or a little bit of what would be called like maybe a little bit of feedback. And so as Katie is working on getting her headphones plugged into this, what I will probably have to do is I'm going to have to adjust her audio settings. And so let's bring up the desktop capture so you can see that. I can get rid of this waveform Y. Katie, go ahead and talk for me.
Hello.
Okay, so we can hear that her volume's definitely lower. Her, if you're seeing this on the audio mixer, I'm going to go ahead and bring that back up. Katie, go ahead and talk again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead and talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So we definitely cut down some of that stuff. I've had to boost up her gain just a little bit to get her power through. Now, these are pretty cheap headphones. We actually bought these at Dollar General last evening for this test. So I would recommend making sure that they have a quality pair of headphones, but this is something that's readily available because, again, this is like 90% of America functioning like this right now. And so if you're remoting a guest in, just let them know. Get some quality headsets, pay the $10 to $15 range, Skull Candy, things of those nature. But Bluetooth headsets or headphones also work really well. So Katie, go ahead and tell me about your morning again.
I had a few Zoom calls. I talked to my staff members. We created a game plan for the coming few weeks. And now I'm here with you.
Okay. So we've got our level adjusted. What you've seen me actually doing is using a plugin from Waves called NS1 Stereo. And this is, you can see that it's kind of compressing out and gating that background noise. If I were to take that all the way down, Katie, go ahead and talk for me.
Can you hear me?
I can. So just tell me a little bit about your experience of learning how to up your remote guest Zoom game.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about stacking books. I've been working from home for about 3.5 weeks now, and my laptop has been on the desk this entire time, and I wasn't even thinking about the books. I think that's pretty helpful.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing that you're getting married to the smart live streamer then. Now you can tell all.
True.
Very true. Now you can tell all of your friends to how to up your game. Okay, so we've looked at a couple different things. We've got her headphones in. Her audio is sounding definitely a lot less reverb. You can tell that it's not the highest quality headset, and that's a good point to note with things. So other than having a headset, there are some different things that you could use, and that would be microphones like what you're seeing here. Now, that is a Samson Q2U. They're a $39.99 microphone. This thing is just a USB into your device, and this would certainly help. It comes with a small pop filter that you're seeing there kind of by the tripod. It has that little mini tripod that pops out onto your desk. And on the back side, it even has a headphone jack for you to plug in so that you can hear yourself and what you're recording, as well as an XLR jack. So that's a simple way to do that. Now, if you're going to be mounting lights using different adapters, this is picked up at Best Buy. So you can see kind of how this thing is laid out. And then finally, some different type of adapters. These things are all available on Amazon. And so this is a great way to make things look well. We've got your color adjusted. We've got your audio sounding a little bit better. You're put into the rule of thirds. And if you're seeing my desktop here, this is just this overlay. And so all I've done is going into the multi-view, and I've added that in on the bottom. And so you can see where we're landing here. So this has been a quick tip by the Smart Live Streamer so that you can up your game. Katie, do you feel a little bit more confident being on Zoom calls and potentially as a remote guest?
I do. I feel like a pro now.
Okay, so now you are no longer a average remote guest. Katie has become a pro remote guest. Katie, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to go through this with me. I hope that this was helpful for you as you're remoting in guests from wherever they may be coming as a producer of a live stream. And so what we've done for her, we've raised her laptop up. We've put in headphones. We've used an NS1 stereo. It's a VST plugin, and that's from Waves. And we've added a little bit of light to the front of her, but we've also had her close the blinds that was lighting up the wall behind her. And we've looked at a little bit of framing. So we know that she's framed well and she's looking good. Katie, thanks so much again. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the Smart Live Streamer. The Smart Live Streamer is a production of Allegheny Media. We're located in Cumberland, Maryland. We produce remote live streams for companies. And we also host a podcast show. So every week we bring on a guest or we're talking about a topic related to live streaming so that you can up your game in these areas. And we also are bringing you Fail Friday segments that will be coming up soon where we talk about the things that we've not done correctly or we've had errors in the field. If it takes 10,000 hours to master anything, we want to save you that time. And so we have people who are submitting in their own failures who are in this industry. And this is all available on our Facebook page, the Smart Live Streamer, YouTube channel, as well as on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcasts. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great rest of your week.